Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hello, it's your girl Lana Shea.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Okay, yeah. My name is Lana Shea. Mm-hmm. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm from the whole West Coast, raised in Portland, seasoned in Los Angeles.
Gotcha, okay.
And I came back.
Okay.
I am a vocalist, songwriter, play some guitar, and I've dabbled in a lot of different genres, and I am not going to stop doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, very much so. I can't wait to talk about that in the middle of the interview here, because I definitely did some checking out. But before we get into that, let's start at the beginning. What got you started into music initially?
Well, my dad is a musician.
Okay, so it's generational.
Yep. Early memories of my dad playing piano. Mm-hmm. Basically, as soon as I could stand and talk, he was like, all right, I'm going to play this and you sing this. And so he's not a singer. He can sing. He's got a lovely voice, but he doesn't.
He's not a singer.
He's not a singer. He plays piano. He's mostly a bass player and a tuba player.
Shout out to the bass players.
Shout out bass players, backbone of the whole situation. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of jazz, stand-up bass, and does a lot of classical with his tuba, brass quintet.
Gotcha. And just because I'm curious now, had he been doing it since he was really young as well?
Dang. I have to ask my dad when he started playing music.
Fair enough.
I don't think I've ever asked him. That's crazy.
Well, sir, if you ever want to come on the show.
Oh, I'll bring next time we get a father-daughter duo.
Oh my God.
Interview.
I don't know if I've ever done that.
Ooh, that would be cute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
We'll get something together. I know he was high school marching band, big time.
Okay.
Sousaphone, I know it started there, and then he moved to Santa Cruz, and he was playing electric bass, in the early 80s.
Okay. So he's a pretty long time.
He's been doing it.
Gotcha.
He's been doing it. He's a lifer.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
So he got me started. He got me singing. And it was just it was always something that we would do at night in the house for fun. It was fun. And I would go to sleep many, many nights in my room and hear my dad playing piano.
Okay.
So it was there. He was a musician, so I had to be a musician. I dabbled with different instruments, ended up playing the French horn for a long time, middle school band. He gave me my first guitar when I was in 7th grade.
Nice.
Still the guitar that I play a lot of the time.
Whoa.
She's been with me all across the country. We've busked on the streets of New Orleans together.
Wow.
That's where I started writing music on that guitar, and
Damn. Okay. Well, definitely some solid musical roots.
Yeah. Shout out Pops.
Yes. Now, before we get into more of what you do in the present day, I do have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on.
Hey, let's go.
And this first one's one we ask early. It's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Brandy's first album. My cousin Kelly sold it to me. It was hers. She sold it to me used for $5.
Okay.
And that was the first CD that I ever bought for myself.
Nice.
I wanna be down when what you're going through. Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute too. That is definitely a solid one. And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to that was specifically one you wanted to go to? So
No Doubt.
You saw, okay.
Weezer opening for No Doubt.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When and where was that?
It was a really long time ago. I was a child. My mom took me and some friends, and it was here.
Okay.
Would it have been like maybe at the Rose Garden?
Okay.
I guess.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Where else would No Doubt be?
When the Rose Garden was still the Rose Garden before it was whatever it is now, which it's still the Rose Garden.
You know, enough people refer to it as that. It might as well be. Yeah. But that is wild.
Yeah.
That it was like such a cool show.
Also, like as a young woman, like this whole, we're talking about a long time ago, Gwen Stefani was a badass. Like it was, I think every other person on the stage was a man. And then you had this little crop top. It was, it was formative.
She's always had just an incredible presence of person too.
Yeah, she's kind of fallen off as a human, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah.
Back then though, solid.
The No Doubt that we grew up and loved. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what any of them do as people now. I only remember them by their music. Yeah, that's fair. And then before we officially get into it, do you have a defining moment where you like decided you wanted to take music more seriously? And I mean, given your setting, it's okay if you've just always been in it since the beginning.
No, but I mean, it has always been something that I have enjoyed. I think it will forever be something that I will enjoy. When I was living in Los Angeles, and I had just recently graduated from college and was gigging out here. I've done a little bit of acting in my day, and I ended up getting an audition. They were looking for like a songwriter type. They asked her in the audition if I wrote songs. It turns out I do. Can you play one for us? I ended up selling a song to a Taco Bell commercial. It was like my first like really like decently paid gig.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they hired me to perform the song in the ad. They sent me to a real recording studio. Like I was just like,
yeah,
you know, and like in retro, like it wasn't that much money, but for me at the time, I was like, wait, you can get paid for this? Okay. So that was a moment where I was like, well, I'm gonna keep doing this.
That'll do it. That is a very defining moment for sure.
Yeah.
Was it the Gooey and Chorito song?
No.
Damn. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Early 90s. I'm really about to expose myself here. Early 90s. There was a guy who did this rap, and he was the most like unassuming looking, like think Ned Flanders looking guy.
Okay.
Very bland.
Okay.
And I forget what set him up to do it. But he was like, my name is David. My friends call me G. One hungry young dog I be. I'm cool like a penguin, slick like a tuxedo. So hook me up with a Gooey and Chorito.
Oh my God.
And I remember being like, this is amazing.
This was an ad?
Yeah. It's super deep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go look.
Super deep. But yeah, that's there. We don't edit on the show. So that's that exists now.
Amazing.
Yes. So thanks for going down that road with me. But back to you. Let's go ahead. Let's get on into the now.
Let's get into the now.
And we're going to get what I'm sure is a very easy one out of the way, but I ask everybody, how did you pick your artist name?
I picked my artist name because it is my name.
There we go. I had a feeling, but I've learned never to assume it because I have been wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Good question.
What made
really, my parents picked it for me.
Fair. What made you decide to go with your name over like a stage name?
You know, maybe I just haven't gotten there yet. Maybe my pseudonym stage name era is yet to come.
Ooh, you're pulling a reverse Weekend. I don't know if you heard he is ditching the
Abel.
weekend. Yeah. He's going back. He's going to Abel full time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, good for you, Abel.
Yeah. Good for you, Abel.
Yeah. And his reasoning behind it is real cool. But we're not getting into it. Sticking with this. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about your writing process.
Okay.
And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning.
Okay.
So when you get inspired, it's time to make a new track.
Mm-hmm.
What does the beginning look like for you?
Often, for me, inspiration comes in the form of like one line with melody attached. One or two lines, something that like comes from wherever, somewhere, something around me, a person, a situation, or just my brain, or, you know, the universe or whatever. And like, you get like a little hook, like there's a little something and you're just like, this is something, like this is something I need to say, or this sounds cute, or interesting, or just there's something about what has come to me that like I need to flush this out, and that's where it starts. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will that moment hit you kind of at any time, or is it something where it's like you usually like you know, you're home for the day, you pick up an instrument, like do you find that it like shows up in particular moments or just whenever?
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily like a solid like time that I write the most. It's kind of all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you do pen to paper? Are you putting it all in your phone? How are you saving the ideas in the world?
I love pen to paper.
Oh yeah.
I have got notebooks on notebooks on notebooks of like, oh my God. And of course you have to save them forever.
Oh yeah.
You always have to save them. So I've got years and years of notebooks with terrible lyrics. I mean, some of them amazing lyrics, but a lot of just like, oh my God.
Hey, you never know when you're going to suddenly be like, that makes sense in this one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You never know. You got to save them. Love pen to paper. These days, usually it's a mixture of like guitar, sometimes piano. I don't really play piano, but I can play a little to support myself writing. Piano, usually guitar, and it's just going back and forth of like scribble something, pick the instrument up, play with some chords, play with some melodies, like back and forth. And then I have a producer who I've worked with for a decade in Los Angeles, Tristan Calder. And so these days, what we usually do is like I will have either the beginning of a song or all of a song, and I'll go to him and it's like, okay, let's set up. This is what I have. Put on a click track. I do the guitar or the piano or a bass line or something and record all the vocals. And then he goes in and works his producer magic.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
And are you going down there pretty regularly, or is it something where you like once every few months you set aside a time and go like record a grip of songs?
We get it in when we can, and like often there's always a good reason to go to LA. I lived there for 11 years.
Yeah, you've got roots.
I've got roots there. I've got family there. There's always a good reason, and then we'll always like add a few days on to just get in the studio and whatever. And I would say it's like I don't know, maybe quarterly.
Okay.
So we try to.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then once you get a track finished writing, so it doesn't have to be like recorded and released per se, but it's you've got start to finish, what it's going to be. How long does it usually take you to feel comfortable enough to perform a track?
Not that long. I mean, I have performed songs for like finished songs and performed them like for years before I ever like finished the studio version or released it or anything. Like I just released a song recently that I have been performing, I think for like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Like it's been mostly done and I was like,
gotcha. So you kind of workshop stuff live before you'll get a recorded version of it?
Sometimes it just depends. Like yeah, but I like to play a song that I just wrote. Like there's a special like electric energy in that you feel as an artist when you're like, this one's fresh.
Yep. You're the first ones to hear it.
God, like this one just bubbled up inside of me, and like the lyrics feel relevant, and writing a song feels good. Like that's one of the reasons that we do it. Because it bubbles up in you, and then the release of like expressing it is like pleasurable. So yeah, I love to play a new song.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, now we get to talk about some of your music.
All right.
So I jumped on ye old Spotify, and you've got a bunch of music.
Yeah.
You've got a ton of music going all the way back to 2013.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I checked out a grip of it. I'm going to be honest, like I listened to a fair amount of it, and I love your sound. Like you said, it's very eclectic. It's like, it's electric pop, but it's also like got a folky twang to it, kind of like Dirtwire, but without all the banjo.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, you also have bars. You're just out here laying it down, and then everything in between. You really do find a way to kind of like create your like pockets, and then find ways to link them. So like as you kind of hear through your discography, they don't feel like bold jumps all the time. They feel like here's a sound, and then there are these ones in between that you're like, I understand. And I think that's a really cool way to put it together. And then your most recent track, Fight and Love, which just came out, was it last month now?
It was last month, yeah.
Yeah, which I guess April in the time
it was
this is out for
April,
you in the future.
April of 2025, for
yes.
those watching in the future.
Yes, April 23rd. Because I have it in my notes.
Oh, hey, nice.
Yes. And it's a cool track. It's a very strong track. It's very like thick. It's very moody. And the instrumental does a great job of like recreating the tension that the lyrics are presenting. And that like, I just thought that was a really interesting like layer to it. And what I thought was, I'm curious about, I guess. So a question I have, you titled the track the censored version of the lyric.
I did.
Which I thought was a very smart move.
Thank you
for
that validation
that makes
and
so
that
much
feedback.
sense.
I really appreciate that, because I actually had a lot of trouble with the song name, because there's an explicit version and there's a radio edit, and
which I listened to both.
Okay,
I was curious.
Yep. They're the same song with one word. Yep. It's just one word.
That is 100% what I was curious about.
Yep. Fight/Love is the title of the song, and the version that I wrote, the song that wrote itself, was We Fight and We Not
You can
Love.
say it on here. It's okay.
I'm censoring myself.
Fair.
But so like that's the song. The song is Fight Fuck. Like that's what me and my producer were calling it. That was the name of the song. And then when I was getting ready to work towards a release, it's like, do I want to put a song out that I can do whatever I want?
Yeah.
Like there's no rules.
So there are plenty of songs that have that as an element.
Yes, you can say whatever, you can title a song whatever you want.
But you are going to pigeonhole yourself real fast if that's the chorus and the title of the track.
Well, especially because what really got me was like, it's really not an explicit song.
No, it's not.
They're just that's just a word in the chorus.
Yeah.
The first line of the chorus, but as a whole, it's the only it's the only curse word in the whole song, and it comes like it's said like 3 times or something. So I was like putting so much thought into like, should I? But like, I don't know, like I'm not afraid, like I don't care, like if there's a curse word in my song title, I don't care. I'm like, but like it just wasn't sitting right. And then I'm like, and then do I have this and then title the radio edit a different name?
Yeah,
and
then it just doesn't attach it together.
And so it just was like, let me just relax, stop thinking about it, turn the fuck into love.
Yeah.
Because really that's what we need to be doing out here in this world.
Yes. No, like I said, it made perfect sense to me. I just wanted to acknowledge. I guess it didn't have a defined question even.
Yeah, no, that's right. I love that you heard them both.
Yes. And there are very few times where I've heard like a censored version. I'm like, I would take this over the original version.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yours was one where it's like, it wouldn't matter to me which one I heard. Like, because like you said, literally it's just the one word and it's done in the chorus, so it's like it's very easily interchangeable in that respect, and it's done very tastefully. Like you didn't over accent like the fact that you changed it or make a thing out of it. So yeah, I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I also, like I said, I really do. I enjoy your sound overall. I do. There's very much the air of like you can do whatever you want to do, and you do it, and that's just appreciated in music.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out and appreciate it. I had for better or for worse, like when I was younger, in my like early 20s, and I'm in LA, and I'm like, getting out and about and doing things. Like I met some like very well-connected, sort of like powerful people in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I was given the advice early on of like, if you want to make this work, like if you want to be successful, if you want to be a successful artist, musician, you got to pick your style, pick your genre, pick your look, and like stick to it. And I was just like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Like it was sort of, and I'm not talking about like, these are people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like
it is the best way to market yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
People
like
who know about marketing.
As a business, it does make sense to stay on brand.
Absolutely. And it wasn't bad advice if that was my goal, if my goal was like, I want to be a famous musician. I want to be an artist. I want to, I want to get a record label.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just that I don't care about that, I guess, because I just feel I'm just like, the music, writing music is, for me, is too much of like I don't want to say like a spiritual thing, but that's kind of what I want to say.
You
like,
enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
and
just fun.
Yeah, and it's like I'm like experiencing my connection like to the earth and the universe when music is coming through me, and that's my focus. My focus is not on like package me and sell me.
Yeah. So
I did not take that advice, and I have not become a famous, super successful, and like, I feel great about it. I feel like more power to me.
I think that there's that way did work.
Yeah.
It did work, and technically that way does still work.
Totally.
But now, especially in current music and a lot of like what's happening in like the narrative of music, the zeitgeist, I think is a word for it, that there's not so much need to be in the box. Like, because everything is so accessible, doing different music isn't going to really like take you away from anybody, because everybody listens to everything now.
Yeah.
There's such a broad palette of music being consumed by the average actual music enthusiast now, because it's also available. You don't have to be like, oh, I only have $12. Do I buy a CD that I know is cool from a band I love, or do I try this thing I've never heard before?
Right.
Like, you don't have to make the choice anymore. You can just listen to anything.
Yeah.
And so being able to do different stuff, being able to like find a way to make your music kind of introduce itself into spaces, and to have the range. Because your music isn't just like, you're like, oh, I tried this and it was fine, I'm going to try this now and it's fine. Like, you actually do own the sound you're going for and still display your talents. Like, even the more like electronic based songs were not electronic songs. Like, you weren't buried under a million layers of effects. You weren't like part of just like the pulse of the song. You were still being very musical. You were still being a singer within that realm. And so that is a talent, and that is something that is being defined in music right now, that aspect of just be everything.
Yeah.
So I think if anything, you're kind of, you're a little ahead of what is really solidifying itself right now. By
Head of the curve, baby. Head of the curve.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. But I am curious to know, out of all the music you have available, what are some of your favorite songs to perform?
Ooh, favorite songs to perform. Okay, honestly, I feel like that partially just depends on the night.
That's fair.
Like, it depends on the night, depends on the vibe, like, depends on, like, I've had I mean, obviously, Fight Love that just came out is currently my favorite song to perform.
Yes.
Of course, because it has the most like energy behind it because it's brand new. I have a couple other like unreleased songs that I really love performing that feel very fun. And sometimes you have songs that are old to you that you feel like you've performed a bunch of times and they kind of lose that spark. You get to a point where it's like, I don't want to do that one.
Yeah.
But there's a song called Alone off my first solo album that I think I perform almost every show. Like it usually makes its way in because I just love it so much.
Yeah.
It just feels good to perform. And then there's another song called Questions off of that album, Duality. And that was one that like for a long time I performed it a lot and then I stopped performing it because it felt like I'd done it too many times. And that song recently came back for me too. And like, it's just so nice when you can like fall back into a song that just feels right.
Yeah.
Like some of your, you have songs that are really old. I have some songs that are really old that I'm like, cringe. Like, no, like I am never saying those words together. Like I'm never going to perform that song again.
Yeah.
Or if I ever did. Like there's just some things you're like, okay, that's where I was at that time. And I'm not going to perform that song anymore. But it's so, I guess validating to return to a song that's like, 2018 and it's like, damn, this feels like present.
Yeah.
Like this came from a connected place. Like this song still hits for me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Now I want to take a moment and I want to zoom out. I want to look at kind of more music as a whole.
Ooh.
What are you listening to right now? What are you taking in just as a consumer of music?
What am I listening to right now? I listen to almost exclusively female vocalists for the most part.
I have a playlist that you will love.
Oh, great. Bring it on over. Doechii, obviously. SZA, Banks, big fan of Banks. Those are 3 albums that are recent for me. And yeah, I mean like there's some male vocalists can sneak in. There's an artist named Black Odyssey who I'm a huge fan of, singer and producer.
Yeah.
Incredible talent. But for the most part, I realized that a lot of the voices in my headphones for my entire life were trending towards male vocalists. That's just what we had.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to balance it out. So for the most part, I listen to mostly women singers.
That makes perfect
rappers.
sense.
I love rap. I love women rap.
I
love girls rapping.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Japanese breakfast by chance?
No, I don't.
Definitely check out Japanese
Not
breakfast.
really. It sounds like something that I've heard, but I don't remember.
Give them a listen when you watch this episode back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Japanese breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And before we move into the next portion,
okay,
this next question is probably the densest question in the interview.
Okay.
But we've talked about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music, one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Everything. So many things. I mean, it's a mood changer or a mood deepener. Is deepener a word?
Enhancer?
Enhancer. That's the more appropriate real word.
Ex-English major.
Okay, you win. Mood deepener.
I like that better.
Mood changer. Yeah. It's I mean, like I love being alone in my house playing music on my stereo, like going through, picking a playlist, like dancing around, like choreographing my own, like I basically, the joy for me has like not changed since I was like an elementary school kid, just like turning on the, like, I just want to like, it's like it's like music has this like magical ability to transcend whatever is happening. Like in my like small little like ego world of like what's existing around me and these like little problems and challenges and this journey and whatever, and then you can like put on the right song and like suddenly the universe unfolds and like you're just like you just like completely change your perspective, or or like open your heart up, or just like cry, or like let something go, or yeah, I mean, like we're so lucky to have music. And also I think as like humans, it's just something that has, I mean, it's like really deep within us. Like music is something that humans have been doing for way longer than we've had recorded music. Like it's in our cells somehow.
Damn.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for that answer.
Hell yeah.
I really, just through the conversation we've had, and prior to this, and maybe even off camera, I really appreciate your level of like almost like whimsical care for music. It's so like you can tell, or at least I could tell every time when you're talking about music that there's just an addition of something. Just like the way that you light up a little bit, the way that there's always upward inflections on your descriptions, like music as a presence in your life seems very present. And that is not something everybody gets to have. So it's very appreciated. It's cool to see.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. But with that being said, we're now going to go ahead and move on to some hypothetical questions.
Ooh. Yes. Okay.
And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one is pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
If I could work with any person, okay, it's okay. All right. For a lot of my life, it's been Bonnie Raitt, just because she is a voice that I have grown up with. And the first time I saw her live, I was just crying because I love her voice and I love her guitar playing, and she's an inspiration. So Bonnie Raitt. And also Rhapsody, because she is like my favorite, most underrated rapper. Like, and I finally got to see her live last year, I think. And like, when you have that experience of somebody you've listened to a lot, but you've never seen them live, and then you see them live and you're just like, I understand why I fuck with this person. Like you're cool. Like we could hang out, man. I can tell from your stage presence that we would totally be friends. And I'm just like, I'm a big fan, and I would love to just like, get in a studio and like play music, play around.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're both watching, so.
I'm sure they're both watching.
Let's make it
Bonnie
happen.
Raitt and Rhapsody, holler at your girl.
Yes. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
I mean, before like 6 months ago, it would have been Karma Rivera, but we have since connected, and she just dropped a song that I played acoustic guitar on for her. Shout out Karma Rivera, she's dope. So that would, in the previous past, that would have been my answer.
Mhm.
And then now I would say Portugal the Man. Does that count?
That counts.
Local.
That counts. Yes.
It counts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They are here.
They're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, of the members I've met, pretty cool people. Pretty cool. Yeah. Shout out to their bass player.
Okay.
He's very nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bass players tend to be pretty solid humans.
I would agree for the most part.
I have yet to meet a shitty human bass player.
Yes.
I'm sure they're out there, but for me personally, haven't met them yet.
Very few and far in between, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
And it's pretty literal in this sense.
Okay.
But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, it was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show. And it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere.
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 Perform anywhere in the world.
Where would you want it to be? And you can be as vague or specific as you'd like.
Okay. I'm like, okay. I mean, venue-wise, I can't wait to perform at the Gorge.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done that yet, but I will.
Oh, for sure.
Eventually. But imagination-wise, I would love to perform like in a coral reef.
Ooh, okay.
And hopefully there could be like some manta rays.
Yeah.
Close by as part of the audience.
Okay.
Dancing.
Would it be like the audience would be partially underwater or like entirely underwater with like transmitters, like Scuba Steve style, or like I guess I needed more.
I guess a little bit of both. I mean, you got to be able to swim around.
True.
So okay, I guess some maybe some in-ear.
Yeah, underwater with the in-ears.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. That would definitely be a wild show.
Yeah, and I would have to be floating.
Of course. Well, if everybody else is underwater, you would have to be underwater as well.
Yeah.
Well, it is hypothetical, so
yeah, and it sounds pretty. Doesn't it sound pretty?
It does sound rad. All right, and then to wrap up the hypothetical questions.
Okay.
If you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Robert Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't need much explanation, but I will ask for your reason for choosing that.
I mean, we didn't get enough. I mean, also, not even like, yes, one more album, but like one recording session with like this gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what we have is so amazing and limited.
Mm-hmm.
And like, wow, wouldn't it be cool to like
hear what his voice like
hear it
fully sounded like. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is a super solid answer. All right, but with that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to in, let's say, the next 6 months?
Yeah. So I released a song in April. I took a 3-year break from releasing music. I needed a break.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't fun, and it needs to be fun for me to do it. So I needed a little break. It was amazing. Love a break.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sort of like and with that being said, I've also given myself the space to slow all the way down.
Oh yeah.
So I have an album that I've been working on very slowly for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to be finished in 2025. It's probably going to be 2026. Like knowing my my schedule with what I'm keeping. But I have at least a couple more songs that are done, that are going to be ready to come out.
Okay.
and a couple of collaborations that I'm excited about. Some things I've been working on with some Portland artists, and I'm feeling really like just feeling very grounded about being at a place where I can release my songs when they're ready, when I'm ready, when it feels like the right time for me to like use my voice. I'm very grateful to have a voice that I can use in this manner, and also like taking a break and listening has been really helpful and appropriate. And so like I feel like I'm sort of doing this dance now of like, you know, like I don't really feel the pressure to like drop a single, drop another single, like do the machine thing. Like I don't.
I'm not a supporter of that format.
I mean, it's great. If that works for you, great, do it. I'm trying to pay attention to the dance of like, when I have a song that's ready that I want to share, that I need to, these things are like, I'm ready to speak them out loud, we'll do it. And then when I'm in, you know, listening mode, we're going to do that. So like, there'll be songs little by little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any shows coming up?
I do. I'm playing a Beat Happening.
Nice.
Shout
out to Love Jones.
Yep. Shout out Love Jones. I want to say it's May 23rd. And that's a day that I'm saying that may not be correct, but it's the Sunday. It's somewhere around May 23rd.
It would actually probably be May 25th. It's Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
My showcase is May 24th.
Okay. So
that's
you know.
Saturday.
May 25th then.
Gotcha.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
I think. Anyways, I'm playing that this month, and then in August I'm doing Good Time Camp Out. Good Time Camp Out, which I'm really excited. I haven't played like a festival, like a camping festival, in a long time, and I know that is going to be so much fun, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, well, definitely looking forward to all of that.
Yeah.
When you do finally get the album out, come back on the show and let's do a tuned in episode. It's basically it focuses on new albums from past guests.
Great.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Yes.
1 year from now.
Yes, I was gonna say whenever. Doors always
whenever.
open.
Amazing.
Putting it here so it'll be there for the future.
Oh, yeah.
But for this next one, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah, my name is Lana Shea, LANASHEA. You can find my music wherever you can find it. My internet handles are Lana Shea, so an extra LANASHEA. That's my Instagram and my, I guess, Facebook, but don't find me on Facebook. I'm not there. She was there, but she's not really there anymore. And lanashea.com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out Tristan Calder, my bro, my producer homie for like a decade plus. None of the music that I have made would be here without him, and he's like been a very consistent, amazing collaborator forever. Shout out Alpha Pup out of LA. They've always supported me, and record label distribution.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I'm like, oh shoot, there's definitely people I need to shout out that I'm not gonna say right now, but I will send you a note.
Yes.
A handwritten note.
All right. And then with that being said, I've got one last question to go.
Okay.
But before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second.
Take it away.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Roland Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But in all of music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? It's a bit of a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
I'm trying to remember if it's like a best of or the compilation, or I have two. Together for the First Time, BB King and Bobby Blue Bland.
Mm-hmm.
It's a live concert of them playing together for the first time. It's completely live. There's times where like there's mistakes that happen. Like they get like a little mad at each other.
Ooh.
Like you can't just not really, not like, but like because I've listened to this album many, many times, and it's sort of like, oh well, what key was that in? Well, I don't know. If you want to modulate, you can. Like there's just like this little banter that like you get that's just like, ugh. There's some moments in that album, let me tell you. BB King and Bobby Blue Bland together for the first time. And then the Big L CD that I had that was burned. So I don't actually know what the name of the CD was, but I know it was a posthumous release. And I think it was maybe just like a best of Big L or a compilation or something. And yeah, Big L, that was one of my favorite rappers when I was little, and very underrated legend.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wish he had time to come in all the way into his own. That would have changed the game.
Would have changed the game.
Very much so.
Just change the game.
Yeah. But those are both very solid recs. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
With that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Yes. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Lana.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.